Okay, so today after work, I went to go and watch the brand new Sonic the Hedgehog movie. A movie that I was incredibly anxious to watch because I didn't know how they were going to handle the backstory of one of my most favorite characters based on one of my most favorite games ever, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. A game that I am playing right now whilst I make this review because I need to distract myself whilst I talk about this movie. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, I'm not happy. I feel weird saying that I'm not happy because I'm looking online and a lot of people are really happy about this movie. A lot of people are really, really happy about this movie. People are saying it's brilliant, everything they ever wanted. Oh my God, they did the pose and people are really happy. And I feel like, is there something wrong with me? Am I expecting too much? Because for me, it's just not, I feel like it's a perfect example of everything Hollywood could be, but also everything wrong with Hollywood. Because first of all, let me start off with the positives. To be a positive person, let me start off with everything that was good about the movie. The CGI was genuinely gorgeous. I mean, the fight scenes were genuinely amazing. If you take away the story, take away the dialogue, and just take the fight scene alone, amazing. Genuinely amazing. I couldn't love it because I was so worn out by the movie. But if I'm watching it, I could sit down there and be like, if I wasn't so pissed off right now, I would genuinely be so hyped about this fight scene. Do you get what I mean? Like when Sonic and Shadow are fighting in super form. By the way, I'm playing terribly because I'm not really paying attention. I'm just to distract myself. But yeah, like when Sonic and Shadow were fighting in super form, it genuinely looked gorgeous. And when the Live and Learn music began to play, I got goosebumps. I got goosebumps, which immediately went away in the next scene, which I believe was Dr. Gerald Robotnik spanking Dr. Eggman. It was some dumb shit like that. Something that took me all the way out of it. And okay, back to positives before I get to negatives. Tails, naturally, I feel like they got Tails right. Like, you know, that's a good way to depict Tails. Tails is pretty much close to how he was in the adventure games. Just really cool, really smart. Like, yeah, like, you know, they got Tails more or less correct. Knuckles, I really, really don't know. Positives. Before the negatives, positives. They got Tails right. That scene when Shadow is remembering Maria being dead on the floor, and then he's having a really and he's getting more and more angry thinking about it, and then you go to that scene where he's running, like letting out all that anger and that pain that he's been holding in. That genuinely hit me. That was genuinely a powerful scene. Everything else, I'm tired of Hollywood changing things, changing the source material, okay? Now to everything that I don't like. Knuckles, why is Knuckles like that? I don't like Knuckles like that. Why did they make him like that? Like, he reminds me of like Thor when Thor first came to Earth. What do you call this? Do you call this a latte? I am a warrior. What do you call this? Is this a mouse? Oh, it connects to a computer? Oh, I'm a warrior. I have to fight everything. Like, the Knuckles that I know and love is the really cool, laid-back Knuckles. I'm flying, looking for the Master Emerald whilst I'm bopping to some really poorly written hip-hop music. Let's take a dive in aquatic mine. First it's a ball pit and now it's a water ride. I like Rouge, she's sexy and smooth. Look at him, he's so chill, look at his glasses. Knuckles is such a cool guy, man. He's such a vibe. So, like, can somebody please tell me why in the movies he's like, I am from a tribe, I am a fighter, I don't know what human things are. All I know is that I must fight and I must fulfill my duties. Knuckles has always been a really cool guy. Like, he takes his responsibilities seriously, but he's still a really cool guy. Like, he's Knuckles. Look at him. Look at he's fucking awesome. Like, why make Knuckles into that? It's just so annoying. And as for Sonic, think about the Sonic that we know. Like, think about the Sonic that we know. Sonic is such a cool character. So tell me, why in these movies is he a kid in such desperate need of a family? And now he has two parents. Why does Sonic have human parents? Like, we've seen Sonic have parents before. Like, back when I first got into Sonic, I didn't even play the games. Like, back when I first got into Sonic, I didn't have a game console or a PC that could play the games. I got into it through watching, the cartoons. Sonic Underground, Sonic Underground. They made a vow that mother will be found. Yeah. Like, like we've watched Sonic, have a mum before and be in desperate need of, bringing his family back together. And even back then, like when he's kind of childish, but he's not like this. Do you get why? I don't know. Like, it's hard to even fully describe it. It just feels really, really immature, but not in a kind of cool, immature way. Just in a very like it just feels mainly targeted towards kids. Like it just doesn't feel like this. It just doesn't feel like the Sonic that I know and love. It just doesn't. It doesn't feel like the Sonic that I know and love from any depiction at all. Like even from the Sonic OVA, like he's so cool, he's laid back. Everyone's begging him, please help us, please help us. He's like, forget about it. You're the one who created the stupid contraption in the first place. Why should I go around cleaning up your messes? Like he just doesn't care. Even Tails is like, please Sonic, let's do it. He's like, fine, I'll go. Like he's a really laid back, cool guy. Sonic Heroes, the beginning scene, he's running off on his own mission in the mountains. Like, he doesn't need nobody. Tails and Knuckles are chasing up to catch up with him. You know what I mean? Like, Sonic don't need nobody. Let alone be in desperate need of a family in the form of two humans. Like, oh, I can't. But, okay, so, the characters, Tails on point, Knuckles hate how he's depicted. Sonic don't like how he's depicted. But now let's go on to the actual story, because the story is where they really, in my opinion, messed everything up. Because think about the OG story in Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. Dr. Eggman knows that he has a grandfather. Dr. Eggman looks up to his grandfather. Like, he even says it, I always looked up to my grandfather. His grandfather created Shadow. His grandfather created the Ark, created Shadow to be the ultimate life form, with the intention of not only providing hope for humanity, but mainly to provide hope for himself, because he has a dying daughter, and he hoped that by creating the ultimate life form, this ultimate life form could find a cure, or could be the cure, and heal his daughter. That's a big motivation, a massive motivation, because it shows a tie to this character Shadow more than just power or greed. It shows a real desire. I created you, Shadow. I created you to be the ultimate life form because I want you to be the hope of humanity, and more importantly, I want you to save my daughter. Shadow grows to love Maria. Maria becomes the most important person in Shadow's life. And now Shadow feels burdened because I'm created to heal you. I'm created from this alien thing, and I'm meant to be the one to not only provide hope for humanity, but I'm meant to heal you. That's my purpose. But he feels like he's not living up to who he's meant to be. Like, look at me. I'm meant to be the one to cure you. I'm created from this alien, but I'm meant to be the one to heal you. I'm meant to be the one to provide hope for humanity. But can I even do that? Like, he's doubting himself. He doesn't feel like he can be what he's meant to be. And then, Gunn, who greenlit this entire project, but after word starts to get out about this project, Gunn goes out of their way to get rid of all evidence. Think about it. That's a deep story of government cover-up. Gunn goes and storms the Ark. Gunn storms the Ark with the intent of wiping out everyone and everything. Gunn goes there, I'm gonna wipe out everybody. Everybody who's there, everybody who's there is gonna get wiped out because we have to cover up the evidence. Gunn didn't kill Maria by accident. They went there to wipe out all evidence. That's a big, important factor of the story. Because not only does it show the corruption of the world, but it strengthens Gerald Robotnik's reasoning. If you ignore the retcon in Shadow the Hedgehog, where the purpose of the Eclipse Cannon gets changed, if you ignore that and think about purely the events of Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, think purely about that, it strengthens his reason for wanting to take revenge on humanity. Because that there was the true nature of humanity. You will wipe out my innocent daughter just to cover your own asses. That's the true nature of humanity. That's what he wanted to annihilate because he didn't feel like humans deserved to even live. Because look what you did. You killed my daughter. You shot her down just because you wanted to hide your involvement in a project that you greenlit. That's the true nature of humanity. And that's what strengthens Gerald Robotnik's reasoning for wanting to wipe out humanity. And what strengthens Shadow's desire to wipe out humanity is not only the fact that Maria got shot down, but then you killed my father, my creator, by firing squad. Deep it. You storm the Ark to get rid of all evidence. You kill the most important person in my life, and then you murder by firing squad my creator. That's important. That's really important. In the movie, they made it, like, here's what happened in the movie. Shadow comes down in a meteorite. In typical human curiosity and lust for power, we found this thing. How can we control it? How can we use it? How can we study it? And then Professor Gerald Robotnik comes in, typical scientist. I want to investigate and find out what this creature is and how can we utilize its power. There's no motivation there. I'm not creating you to save my dying daughter and to be a hope for humanity. I'm just, oh, I wonder what you are. I wonder how I can use you. I wonder how I can weaponize you and make you into my test subject. That's a different motivation to, I created you to not only be a hope for humanity, but also to save my dying daughter. Very different motivation. And in the movie, when Gunn comes in to shut down the project, Gunn comes in out of fear of what Shadow is. They come in there purely to get Shadow. They come in there purely to get Shadow. The intention is not to wipe out all evidence, to wipe out all evidence of our involvement in a project that we greenlit. No. In the movie, they went in there, we're scared of what Shadow is. So we want to capture Shadow. In the process of trying to capture Shadow, an accident led to a lot of people becoming collateral damage. But that's a different motivation. Part of the weight of the original story is the government cover-up, the true nature of humanity. That's what Dr. Gerald Robotnik wanted to stamp out in the original story. Of course, later we found out, no, I created the canon to really to wipe out the Black Arms. But if you ignore that story momentarily, that motivation, like that original story is perfect. And then when Sonic's dad gets punched down by Shadow, and then Sonic wants to go take revenge, and that led to him, going after Shadow all angry, like an act of revenge. But I think the original story is far more stronger. I think the original story is far stronger and far more in line with Sonic's character. And with the moon, in the movie, when they blew the moon in half, it was purely an accident, played for laughs. Like, oh, whoopsie, we cut the moon in half while trying to save the world. For me, that was a big moment. For me, that was a big moment in the original game because it showed, like, that's Dr. Eggman being like, yo, I'm not playing with you guys. Look at this fucking cannon. I blew the moon in half, Like, Dr. Eggman was a real problem in this game. And what was that dance sequence when him and his grandfather are having that dance battle? There's so much to talk about in this movie, and I know that my thoughts are unorganized. I've just watched it one time, and in multiple points I kind of clocked out of the film. I'm not happy with the changes of the story. I don't like the tone. I don't like how they don't commit to the darker elements. I don't like the human characters one bit. I don't like the jokes. By the end of it, it felt really weird. Almost every time, no fail, I've noticed that whenever they change a good story, you always end up with these weird moments where you have multiple people kind of not really knowing what to do with themselves. Like in the end scene, you had the gravity sequence where people were like stuck to the ground because of gravity, and they're all trying to get this key, and everybody is in the room for some reason. It just felt really weird. And I swear to God, in the final fight, when Sonic and Shadow are both in super form, didn't even come close. I mean, look at this final fight, man. Oh. The music, everything. You got the final beast right there. But in the movie, you had a bunch of robots coming out.
it to me. I'll destroy it.
Like, I swear to God, I would have loved if the movie had just done this. Like, this is so good. Why do you have to change it? Like, why do you have to change it? Why? What are you gaining from changing it? Nothing. You've gained nothing from changing it.
Now it's up to you, Sonic.
You've taken something that's incredible, impeccable, and put your own spin on it. That doesn't amount to nothing. Like, imagine with the CGI that we saw in that movie. Live and learn.
Here I come.
If you beg or if you borrow, you may never find your way. Oh, yeah. If you beg or if you borrow,
You creep.
you may never find your way. Literally, visually, the final fight in the movie, it looked good. It just wasn't, it just doesn't come close to this, not even close. And I don't get why, like it could have been that. But they felt like changing it. I don't know what the motivation was. Change it for what? For why? Why change it? I'm about to die, but that's fine. I don't mind playing it again. I don't mind playing it again. I played this so many times. I don't mind playing it again. And not to mention, they couldn't even let the song breathe. Like in the movie, they played the song and then kept on cutting. I'm just like, I don't want to be negative. I really don't want to be negative. I swear to God, I don't. I just feel like they messed it up. You know, and it's nothing close to what it could have been or should have been. Oh my God, the humor. No one laughed at one. I mean, in my whole theater, no one laughed, not once. Maybe you guys laughed. I didn't. I couldn't laugh. I just didn't find it funny. I didn't like the changes. Why change it? It's perfect the way it is. And like naturally, as a fan, I feel like, you feel protective of a character that you know and love and a story that you connect with. I love this story so much. It makes me feel something. It makes me sad when shadows fall into the ground. You didn't have to change it. You don't have to change the characters. I just don't like it. It doesn't feel like it's made for me. It feels like it's made for kids, but in the most immature but weird and shittiest way possible. I don't know how to articulate it. I'm just very sad. I'm just sad. It's not what I wanted it to be. It's not what it could have been. I don't like it. No, I don't like it. I just don't. I'm sorry that it's not the most articulate review ever. I just had to just speak my mind. I just don't like the changes. I don't. Maybe when I clear my head, I'll try to make a more detailed review. But this is just me after watching it, how I feel. Just verbal diarrhea, basically. Just verbal diarrhea. But yeah, thank you for watching.